Welcome to Above and Below, the podcast of the Construction Industry Alliance for Suicide Prevention. I'm your host, Sonya Bohmann, and with me today is my co-host, Zulq. Zulq, take it away.
Hey, everyone. Sonya, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk to John today. As most of you know, I've been around the construction ecospace for about 30 years. I've been hanging out with Sonya for a little over a year. We celebrated our anniversary. What was it called? Anniversary?
Anniversary.
Anniversary. My English vocabulary is expanding itself. I love it. We're not doing words of friends today, but I'm glad to be here. Excited to kick off kind of year two, getting in gear and having a great conversation with John. John, introduce yourself. Tell everyone why everyone should know you.
Well, I'm John with Mainline Security Solutions. I'm happy to be a part of it. And it sounds like I'm beginning the second year of this pod, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get started and talk about things.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very good. So that kind of is a great lead into the conversation. Why do you want to be part of this conversation?
Well, I've had my own struggles, and I feel like more people just need to be open about it. Now, it's easier said than done, right? But if you want to make a change, you got to start with yourself. And I started doing this pretty openly quite a few years ago. And then as I progressed on LinkedIn, primarily expanding my voice, it just seemed like a natural thing to do and just get out there and talk about it and just not be afraid. So,
But thank you for having the courage, John, to step up and share your story, because it's not always easy to put yourself vulnerably out there to, first of all, we're just getting to know each other. So we're no longer strangers, we're acquaintances. And soon enough, by the end, we'll be friends. But to the rest of the world, yes, we need more brave people like you to come out there and really tell the world that, hey, it's okay to be vulnerable for a minute or two or three.
yeah, I don't look at it as being brave for myself, though. Maybe that's it. Like, I don't look at it as that way. Like, because I have tattoos on my body that tell my story. Like, my arm, both my arms, my back, like everything. So, like, I'm not hiding from it. And I'm a little too big to hide, to be honest with you. But other people need the role model or the example to speak out. Not only just speak out, but speak out confidently. Your brain is going to tell you that you're going to be judged. You're not. You're going to be accepted, and you're going to be accepted at a different level now with that person. It's just you. It's that first little step, and that's the hard part.
And I think, you've been around the industry for a little while, and you can see that the vulnerability and the ability to talk about it now is becoming more accepted, right? Where, let's be honest, 25 years ago, you didn't. You just sucked it up and walked on, right? So what have you seen that's kind of changed in the last year or two or three or four that's allowing us to have those conversations now with people? Like, what's prompting it?
Well, it's kind of unfortunate, but the reason in my eyes is people, the hard men that were raised by hard men that didn't know another way and weren't allowed another way are aging out. The guys that are in their late 50s, their early 60s, they're just not turning screwdrivers. They're not framing buildings anymore. Like, they're just aging out. And now their sons, who were also raised by hard men, but now are starting to see there's another way to do this, are in charge. And those guys are in their mid to late 40s. They're still hard men raised by hard men, but it's just a step, right? Like, they're more easygoing. And now the people my age bracket, Sonya and I's friend Jason, that our age bracket, like, still hard men raised by hard men, but there's levels now, and it's changing. And that's what it is. Because, like, talking about this, my dad struggled, right? Like, I remember my dad would just openly talk about taking his own life at the kitchen table, and then just like light switch, just like go back to doing what he was doing. And like, I would see that at 12 years old, and I'm just like, so you just bottle it all up? I'm like, okay, I mean, that's what you're telling me to do. So, and you're my role model, like, you're my hero. Like, yes, that's the right way to do it. And then now I started to learn, like, as he softened, as he got older, like we're talking about, he got softer. Like, hey, the way I did it, the way I told you to do it, not the way. And at that point, it was almost too late for me, but it wasn't. So that's the reason. That's the transition.
So Zulq knows Jason because Jason was on one of our early podcasts. This is Small Worlds. Remember Jason from the Jason, Andrew, and Stephen podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
So it is a small world coming together again.
Listen, 6 degrees of separation is not in construction. Like, that's horseshit. Sorry, you can put that one out too, Sonya. Right. But by the way, John, thank you for calling me old in the last part of your soliloquy there.
He is. He's older than both of us. Don't worry about it.
It's all good. I accept it. I'm aging gracefully. It's the melanin.
Listen, I already told you look good. So,
but
thanks,
I think you made a really good point there. The hard men raising hard men. And that, because they didn't have any other example. That was the the culture of construction. That was the culture of masculinity.
Yeah, just the world.
Right. Exactly. And so they didn't know any better. So now we have hopefully examples of how to change what that looks like, and we can be better examples.
Yeah. And I'm really hopeful that in the current geopolitical state of the world that we're in, it's kind of an influx that we don't turn backwards and resort to hard men being hard men again.
Yeah.
Whereas we're being strong and braver men by able to say, hey, we can have these conversations, we can discuss this, and we can show affection and love and support when it's necessary. We don't need to crawl back. I mean, there's a lot of people want to crawl back to the 30s, right? Go back, just go crawl under your rock, live there. It's good for us, deserve. But I think this conversation is real. Like hard men for hard men, we can't shift this industry because we already have a problem.
Yeah.
We can't find people to come in our industry, in our space. The stats all suggest it, but we need to be a little bit more inviting to everybody and going forward from that.
Yeah, we can't go backwards. I would agree.
I have 2 questions for you. First, what made you finally decide to say, like, it's time to start sharing my story? If you're willing to, will you tell us what kind of where?
Tell us a little bit about your story, Glenn.
What's the backstory? I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'll start from the very beginning. So at 9 years old, my grandmother, who was my best friend, and still to this day, my best friend, the closest person I've ever been to in my entire life, she died right in front of me. She had a massive heart attack and it was just over, like a light switch, just gone. And from that point forward, there was probably a stretch of 16 years where I imagined not being around every day.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
From that age, because it was impactful in the worst way possible. It was not handled ideally by my parents. They thought they were doing the right thing, but turns out it was more harm than good. They had me, I was fully ingratiated in the funeral. I pushed her body down the center of the aisle by myself in front of the most packed church I've ever seen in my life. My grandmother was a saint. They had to extend her viewing 3 separate times. Like,
Oh my goodness.
was it just was that busy? So in a room full of church of that many people, I pushed her down the center aisle and said goodbye in front of that many people. And my parents thought they were doing the right thing because we were best friends. Like, we were as close as anyone could ever be. So like in their brain, they thought they were doing the right thing. So from that point forward, it was just a mess. And I bottled everything up. I turned into a very angry and violent person. And I had an outlet in football, which I was fortunate enough to be good at. And it allowed me to take that anger out and not get in trouble for it, right? And it was my outlet for a while. And then as I started getting injured into high school, I blew out my knee, I shattered my wrist. Dreams of the NFL, which probably weren't ever going to come true to begin with, were really looking bleak. So then and then high school, right? Like girls and friends and drama and rumors and judging and bullying and being the quiet kid, like it just didn't work. I was going to drop out of high school. My English teacher stopped that from happening. I went in one day, I dropped my books on the desk and I just said, I'm done, I'm out. And she kept me around. And then college, fast track to college, alcohol, no rules. I'm just free. And I never processed my emotions, and alcohol became a thing. Marijuana became a thing. And I had a situation in my head. It seemed like the end of the world. And I tried to kill myself again. And truthfully, I have no business being alive based off of that situation alone. I drank over 30 beers, 4 double shots of tequila, and an entire 5th of whiskey in one night by myself. Woke up next morning covered in blood, not knowing what happened. I cut myself all up. Yeah. And I was still completely just hammered. And I missed a final. I had to talk to the dean of the university drunk and tell them what had happened. They gave me grace, fortunately. And then I left school. And then my 20s was just a whirlwind of depression and suicide and alcohol and fights and bad news. And then I met my wife now, and she had a son when we met. And I knew that the path I was going down was just bad. It was going to be the end of me for sure. And it was going to be the end of us. And then I was going to affect him. And he's autistic and he needed structure. And that was just not a thing. So I made a decision to just start trying to be better and be more open. And then the final slip up was a massive bar brawl in Manayunk, and I should have been in jail. And I was like, dude, you can't. I'm still banned to this day. You can't keep doing this. You're going to have to do something. And then I just started I cut down on alcohol to nothing for a long, long time. I drink now, but fleeting at best. And that was the catalyst for change. And I needed, so we always said when we first started dating that I was her reason to keep going and like in relationships with men and stuff like that. And then she was my reason to keep living. And it is very much true. That is probably the catalyst. Well, everything. Now I've had struggles since then. I mean, that was 25, I'm 35. Hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows, and it probably won't ever be. But that was the point. So that's what got me here.
Thank you for sharing that. And,
Yeah.
we're so happy that you stayed and that you're sharing your story and turning that pain into something positive. So thanks for talking to us today.
Of course.
So when you started sharing more openly, what was the reaction from your peers?
Shock most of the time. I mean, now it's acceptance and people just see it coming. But initially, oh my God, like, are you okay? Like, or whatever it is, right? And it was uncomfortable. I'm like, dude, I'm fine. Like, I'm telling you because I want you to know, and I want other people to know, and I'm not hiding from it. I put a tattoo on my arm. I put another tattoo on my arm. Like, I wasn't hiding from it anymore. Like, it was how I got here, and it's how I'll get to the next place I'm going. Like, it's never gonna go away. It's always gonna be a part of the story. So instead of trying to close that book, I'm just going to open it wide up and just let it rip. And then John, I just decided that if it wasn't okay for you, then that's fine. We don't have to be friends. We don't it is what it is. That's the way I look. And that's how I do everything. It's either okay or it's not. If it's not, then fine. Then fine. And then we move forward.
John, we're going to have a lot of listeners that cover the whole gamut of personality profiles, professions, and everything else. What were the first couple steps that you took for yourself to try to get help? And I know people are curious. They want to know, like, okay, where do I start? Like, the people that are going to be able to connect with John today are going to say, hey, how do I get started? I can resonate with John. I lost a loved one. I didn't get grief counseling. So how did John step up and try to find a way to get help?
Well, you have to bring people in. Can't hide it from anybody. Like, for me, it was my parents, and then it was my friends, and then it was my wife. Like, you just can't hide it, and you have to be open. And listen, my head is as hard as a cinder block. It took a really long time for people to get me to do anything. And then I just got tired of being pushed, and then the situations came up, and I'm like, okay, like, you need to do something. And then unfortunately I had to hit rock bottom. So then I let everybody know. And then I asked for their assistance in finding somebody. And then I started talking to somebody. And then I took most of it was just like a powder keg for me. Like, I just needed to let it out. Once I let it out, I was okay using what I've learned myself, what I learned in therapy, and then going outside of therapy and just trying and blossoming a little bit. Like, that's how I did it. And that was the first steps for me. And then it's just every day by day, even before therapy, just day by day, making a conscious effort to rewire. You're rewiring your brain, like you are.
100%.
You have to stop.
You're rewiring your life.
Yes. You have to stop and think about, okay, my brain, my anxiety, my depression is telling me I'm not good enough. You can't do this. She doesn't like you. He doesn't like you, whatever it is, right? It's telling you all these things. It's just not factual. So you have to rewire your brain and rethink it and go through. And this laptop is dying. I got to grab a charger. It was fully charged.
While you're on the move, John, are you still getting therapy and help? Because people need to know that this is not a one-off situation for therapy. It's usually a journey, right?
Yeah, it is a journey. And I currently am in between. Currently in between therapists. I had a guy, he got really old, and then I got so busy that it was just too much. But right now I'm actually trying to, and it's hard. It's a totally different topic, but trying to get my wife in it for herself and for us together.
Great.
It's a tough sell. That's where I'm at currently, but I make a conscious effort every day to work towards not falling backwards. And every day is different, right? Today might really suck after I get off this podcast, and I might spiral to hell. But I have kids, and I've rewired my brain enough where I can pull myself out of it. But it takes a long time to get there. And therapy it's not the only way. You have to you just go and talk to Sonya or Zulq or whoever. That's wonderful. But if you're not doing anything outside of that, then you might as well not even go. Like truth, I'm just being honest with you. Like there is
You have to
no
do the
point.
work.
Yeah,
It is work. It's a job. It's a
Yeah.
job. Like, I mean, if anyone thinks that this is not a job, this is a job.
Yeah,
But it's a job that will pay you dividends that are exponential. So you might as well do this job.
Yeah, if you're not going to do the stuff after therapy, don't waste your money on the therapy because you're getting
So
10%.
John, you said you had kids?
I do have kids. Yeah, I have 3.
You have 3 kids. So through all of this, you've got 3 kids in your life now. Perfect. Well, congratulations. There's a reason for you to be here with us is those kids now.
Correct. I mean, it's cliche, right? Because that's what everybody says. Like my kids and my kid, and my wife. Like, I mean, biologically, primarily, like that is it. Like as a man, like that, it's in there. And if it's not in there, and you're a father, then we're gonna have to have a different conversation, I think.
Yes, different conversation for sure. So you said you had to do the work. What does the work look like for you? What is the self-care pieces, or what is the stuff that you do to help you come back to center?
So every day at 4 a.m., I am in the gym every single day.
Why 4
And
a.m.?
Sonya, you're like, yeah, we're napping at
Why
that
4
time.
a.m.? Why does it have to be so ungodly early?
Well, I guess it doesn't have to be. Just now that I'm in sales, I have a little more flexibility with scheduling. But when I was in the field, I didn't, right? So like I had to be, generally I was on the road by 6 or 6:30, sometimes earlier. So like that was the time. And then I'm working all day, not getting home till 5 o'clock. Then there's daycare, dinner, bedtime, bath. There was no other time. So you don't have time, you make time. So that was me making time. And then I just got used to doing it then. And that's when I do it. If I didn't go to the gym, I don't know that I would be at the point in my journey that I am right now, because part of me and part of the depression, it's never going to go away. And that's, I'm just going to be honest with it, for anybody, it's never going to just vanish. It's not, you're just not just going to wake up one day and you're just going to feel like a unicorn frolicking in a field of flowers. Like, it's just not a thing. Like some days are going to suck. Some days are going to be great. Like it is what it is. So like, but the gym is what allows me to release a lot of that tension and anger. And for you, it might be golfing, or Sonya, it might be walking her dog or whatever, right? Yoga, hot yoga. Whatever it is, find your thing.
I don't look like a gym guy to you, John?
You look like a unicorn frolicking in a field, so.
Thank you. That's actually the look I was trying to go for today on Thursday. But after I get my haircut, I'll be like, I won't be frolicking. I'll be dancing on the petals of the flowers today.
There you go.
So find your thing, whatever that is. And however, that thing cannot be that thing cannot be your family. It needs to be its own thing. It needs to be your thing.
I like that.
So I have another thing that I only do in the fall, and I'm an avid deer hunter, and I go and I sit in a tree stand and I just watch. And I really don't care if I kill a deer. I don't. I just like being there as the woods wake up, quiet, still, dark, rise, bugs, birds, deer, fox, squirrels, whatever, right? Straight peace. Now I hunt in the suburbs, so like I can still hear cars and things, but like there's something that internally it does for me just sitting there. So those are my things. It could be cooking. Like, I don't know. Like it could be anything. Whatever just grounds you and centers you. Yeah,
that's
that is the most. I think that's probably more important than therapy, than talk. I really think that is the most important piece, because you need to learn about yourself, and you can only do that by being with yourself. And that, for a lot of people, that's very, very uncomfortable and very scary. And when I fall into spirals, it is generally when I'm by myself. But that's also how you learn. It's unfortunately a necessary evil sometimes.
Self-healing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So you started talking more about this socially. I noticed that you post more often on LinkedIn. What got you? I know you said you started sharing your story, but that was more locally. This is more global. What got you to putting it out there and, facing the good, the bad, and the in-between so very publicly?
Well, honestly, when I started in sales, I was trying to do the whole LinkedIn box thing, like where you have to fit in. And somebody very early told me, they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean what am I doing? Post it on LinkedIn, buddy. What are you doing?" And he's like, "No." he's like, "No, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Again, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "The person I'm meeting and the person that's on that screen, not the same." He goes, "You need to stop, and you need to stop now." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "Just be you." He goes, "It is what it is, dude." He goes, "Because that's how you handle everything else in your life, right? You either like me or you don't. If you don't, then pound sand." He goes, that's how you handle it, right? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, it's the same way. He goes, I promise you, people are going to be receptive. I'm like, okay. So then I started doing that. And then I stumbled upon the CIASP. And I'm like, maybe this is a sign that I need to do this too. And then I'd always wanted to help, but like, I just didn't know how. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to build a platform and a voice. Like, seems like good as place as any. And because you're not gonna, what I enjoy the most, it's just so hard to do, when you just stumble upon somebody that you can tell is struggling. Problem is, that's not every day. It's not even every week or every month. It just like happens. So like, I love that. And I did it at the Wawa here where I live. And I look for those situations. Problem is, you're just never going to stumble upon it. And it's not consistent. Like, yeah, I definitely impacted that person's life. Faye, I hope you're doing well. But like, I impacted that person and it made a difference. But I speak about it every day or every other day or on LinkedIn. I can impact, there's no number, just millions, billions, trillion, whatever. Like, I can impact a bunch of people all at one time. And that, I guess that's the motivation for me doing that.
And thank you for putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Because there's people that are going to resonate with you. They may not connect with you. They may not hit a like, or they may not throw a comment on you. Right. But they're getting your story. So,
yeah, listen, I appreciate that. And I really, I guess it's cathartic for me, but it's mostly for other people, because had my dad or the people I was around been this way, I might not have been that way, like,
Fair.
so maybe like, and now they're on my everything I love. My sons will not be this way. Like, I won't allow it. Like, I won't allow it. Like, dude, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be all those things. Like, that doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you less of a husband. It doesn't make you less of a father. It doesn't make you less of an employee. It doesn't make you less of a friend. It doesn't make you less of anything. Like, you can still be a competitive powerlifter like I was. You can still work out every day and hundreds of pounds of weights. You can still hunt and work hard. Those things can they can all be true at the same time. It doesn't need to be these little boxes all the time. And I just wish more people really understood that.
They're starting to. They absolutely are. It's going to take a little bit of a shift, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Rome wasn't built in a day, apparently 4.5 years, according to some people, but that's another story for another day. But it's going to take us time. And I think that, the fact that we've got guys like yourself and a whole slew, your John Gall talking about his story about his child. And there's so many things, so many people out there that we can reference that are saying, hey, let's talk about it. And we're going to take those steps forward. And we're going to really go forward together. And we're building a new community of tough guys that can actually share feelings and cry and use tissues.
And that are smart about mental health, right?
Yeah. Like, I am not a soft man. Like, I am not. I am hard. I am not easy to deal with. I am prickly. Like, I am still all of those things. And I don't ever not want to be those things. But I don't want to be the guy that bottled everything up and I was dangerous to myself and other people either. And so that's what I'm trying to accomplish. And I'm hoping more people, just even if it's one person every day, one more person than yesterday. Like,
yeah, it's just one at a time.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being so vulnerable and authentic and honest with us today. We are just about at time, so we try to keep our podcast short enough that people want to stay to the end. I have one last question for you, and this is something that we ask every single person that's on our podcast. If you had a chance to pick a word for the year, the one year that would sort of guide your thinking or your being, what would that word be?
Better.
Great. Put them on the Sonya.
No, better. That was better. Just
wow. I actually like that.
Because
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Your mental health can always be better. You can, no matter, I don't give if you can be Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, you can always be better. And so you can be better in everything.
I don't think they're the barometer of good. So let's just not worry about that.
So
my stocks aren't doing too
better
good
at everything.
Now, so
better.
Right.
I'm going to comment on those guys and their betterness.
Yeah. Well, my word of the year is catalyst. I have two, catalyst and community. And I hope that you will continue to be part of our community. But I'm excited that we were able to make some connections and find out, from a catalyst standpoint, you're connected to Jason, we're connected to Jason. And that's just more people doing the missions work. So thank you for being with us. And Zulq, do you want to share your word again?
Yeah, it's my word. I still continue. I'm not changing words. It's grateful. I exercise gratefulness every time I wake up. It's an important way for me to stay grounded and be, just centered to the universe, because I'm blessed and I'm grateful for being blessed. And I want to be able to share those blessings with as many people as I can.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Have a great day.
Bye now.